Good morning, everybody on YouTube. This is Rick Thomas from Obsolete Video Services. Today I'm going to do a short video. It's not something I haven't really covered before, but I did get several emails about this, and people have been asking me, what do I do on this type of situation? As many of you guys know, when you have vintage electronics such as the Cartrovision, the Ampex, or any type of really old piece of video equipment from the 70s or earlier, at the time the capacitors that they used to use weren't all that great when they made that equipment. When you got 30 or 40 or 50 years of sitting, okay, some electronics will work even with old capacitors. Yes, that's very true. But a majority of the capacitors that were made during that time, right around now, if you have a piece of vintage equipment, you're going to have a lot of problems with it. The capacitors are going to start being dried out. They'll create dead shorts in the electronics where you won't even be able to turn the piece of equipment on. Capacitors, if they're very, very old, have all kinds of problems. They leak, they're shorted, they create noise in the audio, like a vibration or a hum. Capacitors are the worst piece of crap electronics ever made. I mean, capacitors are complete shit. They really are. But they're needed in electronic circuits because they're used as filters for various different applications. When you're filtering a circuit, you got to have various different values of capacitors. That's what the job is of a capacitor. It's a filter. If it doesn't work and it's dried out and it's a complete dead short, then the piece of equipment won't stop. It won't even turn on. But anyways, we're going to talk about capacitors real quick. Make this a quick video. I don't want to make it too long. As you can see, I order a lot of capacitors. You know I do that, right? I prefer the Panasonic Gold series. These are very, very good capacitors. People ask me, should you recap something that's very old? Like I'm going to be recapping this fish tank for this Cartrovision. This is the better fish tank that I want to use. So I'm going to put brand new capacitors in that. Why? Because the machine is from 1972, and these capacitors I already know are dried out like a rock, so I know that they're not going to work that great. Plus, you can get better video signal, better clarity of the color and the color balances, and the color is going to be, it's not going to be all shifty and funky. You get better color lock. Capacitors are the main problem on a lot of video equipment with the color lock, where the color won't lock and you got like rainbow effects. That's generally because of bad capacitors. Now, if capacitors will do that, just think what capacitors will do with the rest of the equipment if it's really, really old. So I recommend you guys, if you have very old equipment and you're an electronics technician, put brand new capacitors in your unit if you know how to do it. You will need to reset the trimmers if you have a service manual. I mean, at some point the trimmers do need to be adjusted a little bit in some cases. But change out the capacitors. They really do need to be changed, especially on this stuff that's 50 plus years old. Okay? Electronics, like I said, capacitors don't last forever. 50 years on a capacitor is a hell of a long time. So, but if you ever cut one of these open with like a pair of wire cutters, you'll see they're completely dried out if they're 50 plus years old. You don't want that. You don't want dead shorts. If you're going to restore a piece of equipment, do it right. Give it all new, fresh new caps. Do the settings, and you're going to have a piece of equipment that's going to work properly. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video.